While I was back in the UK visiting my family and friends, I noticed that there was this one thing that men are craving in order to live a fulfilled life. And let me give you a hint: it isn't money, it isn't fame, it isn't Instagram followers, it isn't even good looks, it isn't even success or achievement, it's not even impact. What is it then, if it isn't any of the above? Now, I used to think that I needed a shit ton of money and a shit ton of fame and achievement in order to be like, I made it. I've done it. I've achieved what I need to achieve. I'm officially the man. Everyone wants to be like me. I've got it all. The money, the status, the looks, the achievement, the impact on society. That's it. Need nothing else. Ticked all the boxes. That's not the answer to a fulfilling life. Now, I study this stuff and have been doing so for the last 5-6 years, completely obsessed with how a man and a woman in this sense finds contentment in this sacrificial, difficult life that we all live. Everyone's got their problems. Everyone is suffering to some degree. Jordan Peterson talks about this often. He talks about life being a series of compromises and suffering. Life by nature is man suffering through and plowing through the trenches just to get to those peak, beautiful, good moments. Now, I don't necessarily see life as completely suffering, but it also depends where you've come from, where you've been born, where you were educated, did your parents have money or not? Some of us live a much easier life than others. However, everyone does suffer to a certain degree. Nobody is safe from that. That's for damn sure. And out of all of the people that I've worked with and met and consulted, rich, poor, doesn't matter about your level of income, everyone suffers with something in their life. And it's a different field of their life, whether it be relationships, whether it be money, whether it be friendship circle, family. Family is a really big one. You don't understand how many rich people have massive family problems. The famous line, mo money, mo problems. Yeah, that shit is real. But I want to discuss the one thing that's imperative for men to have a good life. While I was back home in London, I met up with a lot of my old friends that I grew up with. We did lots of reunions, and this is something that I urge you to do. Always be the person that sets up these reunions back home or back at Christmas or at summer or whatever it might be. Your school reunion, your university reunion. Collect the people that you grew up with. Now, some of you weren't necessarily that cool at school. Some of you didn't have that many friends at school. It doesn't matter. You need to look beyond that part and try to gather the people that you remember were there for you or you just liked hanging out with. Lots of these things can be initiated through your alumni. So if I really wanted to set something up, I could go to my school alumni, university alumni, send them a really beautiful message and say, I want to create a meetup with the people that I used to go to school with this year group. Can you please do an email blast to everyone that you have in this year group? Okay, you've got to take action. And trust me, if you send that message, your alumni secretary, whoever he or she is, will not turn you down immediately. They'll first be like, okay, what's the purpose of it? Why would you want to set this up? Can you please write out what you want me to email blast? So you can definitely set these things up. For me, what works best is WhatsApp groups. I'm in a number of WhatsApp groups with some very good friends of mine that I grew up with. And what I noticed, the one thing these men craved, no matter where they were, right? Because my friends are now in different parts of the world, doing different businesses, working for different companies. Some of them very successful, some of them, average, some of them not successful, right? So there's a range of assessments that, like, some have not much, actually. One of my best friends has a very low salary and he doesn't seem to give a shit, right? So I like to collate friends from different walks and fields of life. Okay, Ty Lopez is a good friend of mine. I literally have him on WhatsApp. I can message him at any point. And he says you should hang out with 33% of your time should be with people who are smarter than you and have more than you. 33% of the time should be with people who are at your range. And 33% of the time should be with people who are earning less than you and who aren't as privileged. There are reasons for all of that. Is that if you hang around with people that are always better than you, you'll feel like shit the whole time. So you want to be inspired by the top. You want to hang around with people who are doing about the same as you in your peer group. And you also want to hang around with people who aren't as inspiring as you, who aren't as successful as you. So you feel like you are actually going places in the world. Now, that might sound slightly egotistical, but it's very helpful for your own mental health to do so. All of these people that I met up with were craving something. They were craving connection. They were craving human touch, emotional intelligence, empathy. They just wanted to sit around and shoot the shit with the boys. And the older these men got, and the more that time has passed by, given the state of the affairs of our world, the lonelier people have become. Many of my friends live alone. The ones who are single. Even the ones who are married and have children are also lonely. Men need other men. We need connection. It was so beautiful to reconnect with these friends and to come together again. And I just noticed that they just wanted to reach out, but they were scared to. They were shy to reach out. Why? Why are you so shy to reach out to your old friends? It just takes a message. And I just noticed throughout these meetups that the boys were so happy to see each other again. And after that meetup, the WhatsApp groups were becoming more, there was more engagement within the WhatsApp groups. People were talking in the WhatsApp groups again. Sending jokes, sending memes, just talking about random things, sending soundtracks to movies, whatever it might be, there was more engagement because these men realized, hey, I miss my friends, I miss my people, I miss being around men that I could just shoot the shit with and just talk about random stuff that's on my mind. It's not just all about you and your therapist the whole time and just living alone. What the hell is this new life that we all live? Living alone. I travel the world and I live alone most of the time. Hotel rooms alone, Airbnbs alone. Now, fair enough, I built a group of friends in different cities, but we just live this weird, lonely life in 2024, 2025. You have to make a special effort to reach out to these people. Robert Waldinger did a TED Talk, and you should watch it on YouTube, and it was all about what makes you happy. And it was like one of the longest ever studies on happiness. It was like a 75-year study. And they took two sets of people, right? One was the MBA group from Harvard, and the other was a poor group of kids from Boston. And they studied these people for 75 years. And they noticed there was one thing that they all had in common, which made them satisfied and happy in life. And it was split into two. The first thing was the longevity of the bonds that they'd created in their life, how long these bonds had lasted. Your childhood friend that you still spoke to 50 years ago. And the second thing was the strength of these bonds. How strong was your connection with this person? How strong was the connection with this person that you've known for 50 years? Was it just a weak connection? Does no one really care about you? Or was it genuinely a powerful connection and these people loved you and you had this community? How fascinating is that? It didn't matter what your achievement was, what your impact was, whether you went to Harvard, whether you sold a company for 100 million, or whether you were poor and you kind of struggled your whole life. As long as you had people around you. And for me, because I'm express masculinity and I talk mainly about that on my channel, I understand how much men need other men, because when I hang around with my boys, I realize that they missed me. We missed each other. I missed their vibe. I missed sitting around with them and just shooting the shit and talking about stuff. And being somebody that they could reach out to whenever they were in trouble or whenever they were upset or whenever they felt lonely. We need each other. And I'm telling you, the one thing that you will need for a fulfilling life is human connection. Longevity of the bonds, strength of those bonds. Start making a conscious effort to reach out to these people. Reach out to your old friends. Build these reunions. Build these communities. Engage in the groups. It's not about the money and the fame and the status. It's about human connection.